All right, so we know the sea otters have to eat a lot to stay warm, to help them stay warm in addition to their fur. So when we say a lot, what are we talking about? Are we saying like 3 sea urchins a day or 500 sea urchins a day? Well, so we gotta figure out what 1/3 of a sea otter's body weight is. We're gonna do that, Theo. But first we have to think like scientists. Now, scientists use the metric system the world over to measure things. And we want to weigh something in the metric system. What do we use?
Pounds.
We use kilograms in the metric system, and pounds are what we commonly use here in the United States to weigh ourselves on a scale or other heavy things. But because we're scientists, we're going to use the metric system, and we're going to use kilograms. So to give you an idea of how much a kilogram is, here's a bag of rice that weighs a kilogram. Here's a bag of rice that weighs 1 pound. So it takes 2.2 pounds to make a kilogram. If we're weighing me or an elephant, we would use kilograms. But if we want to weigh something lighter, like a pencil or a sea urchin or a what?
Mouse.
Or a mouse, we would use grams, something much lighter. So this is what a gram is, about
1,000.
Right, 1,000 grams make up a kilogram. So you need 1,000 of these to make up a kilogram. You can write down on a piece of paper or a whiteboard, or maybe you even have a handout that your teacher gave you. But 1,000 grams equals 1 kilogram. All right, we know that an otter eats about 1/3 of its body weight. When you figure out 1/3 of a number, what do you divide by? Do you know, Thea?
3.
3. You would divide that number by 3. Let's just make up an imaginary otter first. We know otters weigh somewhere between 20 and 39 kilograms. So our imaginary otter is going to be 30 kilograms. So we're going to write that down here on our paper. And actually, if you have the worksheet, it already has 30 on it. Now we want to figure out 1/3 of that weight to know how much food it needs to eat. And if you've got a calculator, that's very handy. So what do you do again, Theo, to find out 1/3 of 30? Divide it by 3. You want to do that?
30 divided by
30 divided by 3.
30 divided by
And what does that equal?
10.
10. Very good. Okay, so write down 10. Yep, you can write it there. Okay, so we know that it's eating 10 kilograms of food, this particular otter. Now does that mean it's a 10 kilogram clam that it's eating? Or maybe it's a bunch of urchins that equal 10 kilograms. But urchins we don't weigh in kilograms because they're too light. We need to weigh them in grams. Let's see, how do we convert kilograms to grams? What do you think? Do you know what we might multiply this number by to make it into grams?
1,000?
1,000, yeah. So 10 times 1,000. You can use your calculator if you want, or do it in your head. What's that? 10,000. Yeah. That means that this otter would need to eat 10,000 grams of food a day. Now let's take Oswald as our next example. We know that Oswald weighed 36 kilograms. That's what the biologist told us. And what do we divide that by to find 1/3 of its body weight?
3.
3, that's right. So divide 36 by 3.
12.
12, okay. Now you can write that in the next box. We know that Oswald would need to eat 12 kilograms of food a day. Okay, so we want to make that into grams. What do we multiply it by? 1,000. So 12 times 1,000 equals 12,000. Okay, Oswald needs to eat 12,000 grams of food a day. So write that number down. 12,000, yep. Now we're gonna pretend, Theo, that you are a sea otter. Little whiskers on you and cute little ears. And now we're gonna weigh you and find out how many kilograms you are. What does it say?
28.2.
Okay, we're just gonna call that 28. So why don't you write 28 kilograms for you. Now, if you're watching this and you just happen to know how many kilograms you are, you can write that down. Yep, right there. If you know how many pounds you are, you can take that number in your calculator and multiply it by 0.45, and that will give you how many kilograms you weigh. If you just want to use Theo's weight, that's fine too. All right, so now we need 1/3 of your otter body weight. So what do you divide 28 by? 3.
Otters can't talk.
Oh, otters can't talk. Well, you're a special otter. You're a talking otter. So we need to figure out what 1/3 of 28 is. You want to figure that out? 9.33. So you can write that down. And then to make it into grams, what do we multiply it by? 1,000, very good. Okay, so 9.33 times 1,000 equals?
33.33.
Yeah, how about 9,330? That sounds like a good number to me. So, we've got all these numbers. How does that help us? We know how many grams of food Oswald needs to eat and how many grams of food Theo the otter needs to eat. That still doesn't tell us how many urchins.